A surgical team in Virginia is answering some pretty tough questions after they were secretly recorded while doing a colonoscopy on someone who was heavily sedated. Now, they used anesthesia on this guy, and he wanted to ensure that he was recording audio of what was going on. That way he wouldn't miss anything that the doctor would tell him to do after the procedure. Well, little did he know he was actually recording the entire procedure. And as this was happening, the man, only identified as DB, caught this on tape. Take a listen.
And really, after 5 minutes of talking to you in pre-op, I wanted to punch you in the face and man you up a little bit. So just make sure you're gowned up.
Can you give me some lube on the floor?
I don't want you to accidentally rub up against it. Get some syphilis on your arm or something.
That'll be bad.
It's probably tuberculosis in the penis, so I'm sure you'll be all right. Just get a PPD in like a month, and then you'll take some INH and be fine.
As long as it's not Ebola, you're okay.
So if you see a reaction, you make
Penis Ebola.
So the man had a rash, and they were making fun of the rash. They were making fun of him. It doesn't sound good.
Mm-hmm. So he sued, and I'm torn about this story. I'm not torn, actually. I know which way I'm going on a couple of different issues here. Mm-hmm. So if you wake up out of this and you hear the doctors who were polite to your face all of a sudden talking about your penis Ebola, which he does not have, okay, just to be clear, they were kidding around, you got to be pissed. I get it. I'd be hurt by it. Anybody would be like, what the fuck? They were nice to me, and then they turn around and this is the shit they do behind my back. Is it worth suing over? I say definitively no. Okay, and especially given what he sued about.
He sued for defamation.
But wait a minute, nobody knew what they were calling you until you sued. And he said, no, there was a couple other people in the room, and technically, if all it takes is one other person to be in the room who might take it seriously. They didn't take it seriously. Nobody thought you had Ebola of the penis. There is no such thing. Now we all know about it because you wanted to get paid. Let's just be honest about that, right? But if I was him, I guess I would have done the wrong move because I wouldn't have sued. He sued and he won.
He won $500,000, and I'm going to break down exactly why and how he won that amount. But before I do so, I want you to check out the second part of what he recorded because I think it's actually worse. Take a listen.
Yes.
Tell him Dr. Shaw said everything, you just don't remember it. I'm just repeating it.
You're going to have a timer go off or have like a fake page.
Maybe.
Dr. Shaw, you need it urgently in the office. Okay, I have to go now.
Actually,
Excuse me.
I have a patient to see.
There we go.
So
Good.
you have to give us some time and stuff.
I've done the fake page before.
Dr. Pants.
And I'm putting his IV in. He's like, I always pass out when I look at the.
Great.
Put my IV
Well,
in.
why
I
are you
said,
looking then, retard?
I said, turn your head. Why are you looking?
They want to believe what they want to believe. These people are into their medical problems. They need to have medical problems.
I call it the Northern Virginia syndrome.
It does, I agree, it seems to be a heck of a lot worse here because it was not like this in Texas.
Here it's like the holier than
Well, they're
thou.
more tough in Texas, I think.
No, here it's like the holier than thou. Too much internet use, a little too much information kind of.
Round and round they go, wheel of annoying patients it goes. Where to land, nobody knows.
Okay, so after this happened, they put a fake diagnosis on his page. They said that he had hemorrhoids when he did not have hemorrhoids. They are incompetent, terrible doctors, and I don't think they should be allowed to do or practice what they're practicing.
Wow, I totally disagree.
Here's the thing, okay? Medical costs in this country are astronomical, okay? Mm-hmm. Finding a doctor, getting an appointment with a doctor, finally getting to see a doctor is a massive pain in the ass in the U.S. Mm-hmm. If you have any type of medical concerns, it is a doctor's duty to hear you out on those concerns and make sure everything's okay. Okay, listening to what they were saying, oh, they're all about their medical problems, too much internet use. You want to know why people research what their conditions are on the internet? Because doctors don't take patients seriously. I know that's a blanket statement. This is based on my own personal experiences. But if you are not an advocate for yourself, doctors are not going to go out of their way to look out for you. You pay $100 to go see a doctor. They'll see you for 2 minutes, and then that's it. Okay? They've already decided that there's nothing wrong with you. I did a story when I was in college on a woman who was 30 years old who had stage 3 breast cancer. Okay? She went to numerous doctors telling them, look, I got this lump. Something's not right. I don't feel right. Can you guys just do a mammogram? No, you're 30. There's no way you can have breast cancer. You're 30. Nope. Just totally blew her off. Until finally she did her own research, was an advocate for herself, went to a doctor, forced them to do a mammogram, and that was when they discovered that she had stage 3 breast cancer. Who knows how early they would have caught it if they would have taken her seriously. Doctors don't take patients seriously. If someone comes into your office and says, hey, I'm concerned, I think I might have this condition, don't make fun of them when they're sedated. Do your fucking job.
Okay. So, look, first of all, obviously, it massively depends on the doctor, right? There's great doctors out there who care a lot about their patients, and that's why they got into it. Are there some doctors that are in this category? Well, obviously, you just heard the tape, and Anna's experience is the experience of a lot of people in the country. I can tell there's some doctors that walk in who care about you, and then there are doctors who walk in and have the attitude of they're so agitated, they've deigned to be in your presence. They view themselves, and it's partly our culture's fault, like doctors. Look, there's some logic in it because some of them save lives, they do really important things. Our health matters more than anything else. But at the same time, we have different rules that apply to doctors. Doctors are allowed to be as late as they want. Like, you can't be late to anything else. No other profession is allowed to be late, but doctors can come in an hour and make you wait in the room for a half an hour, an hour and a half, and that's supposed to be acceptable, right? And I don't know why it is. And then they can come in and feel all agitated, like, oh, I have to treat you. Oh, God damn it, I have to treat you. Well, okay, well then don't go into that profession. Mm-hmm. Go into a profession where your, asocial personality is a better fit, where you can sit in a cubicle and not interact with any human beings. You're supposed to be curing them. You need to interact with them. Now, and these guys, I get it. They're doing a colonoscopy. They're doing a procedure on the guy and saying, they never need any procedures. Dude, concentrate. You're in the middle of a procedure right now, right? So I got no love for these guys. I get it, right? And I think they are guilty of one thing, which I'll get to in a second. On the other hand, two important things. One is, look, man, people say stuff in private that sounds really bad under 1,000 different contexts. If you secretly recorded other people at work, any kind of work, lawyers, what we do here, whatever it is, right? And politicians, you secretly record all those guys, and you're going to have tapes like this littering the landscape. Part of what they were saying was serious. Like, they didn't really believe the guy when he was complaining about his medical conditions without thoroughly checking into it. A part of it is that they were joking. Now, when you get into private joking, no way. People joke about stuff all the time. It doesn't mean that they mean it. It's jokes. You can't take their private jokes and then hold them accountable for it. The more important part is, what's the actionable account here? Is there really going to get $500,000 because somebody secretly joked about you?
Look,
Now, the one part that I will give him credit for and that I think he should have won on is when they wrote the false diagnosis on his chart and said he has hemorrhoids when he doesn't have hemorrhoids.
Let me give you...
That's unacceptable.
Yes, let me give you what they actually said when it came to the hemorrhoids issue. The anesthesiologist said, I'm going to mark hemorrhoids, even though we don't see them and probably won't, and did write a diagnosis of hemorrhoids on the man's chart, which the lawsuit said was a falsification of medical records. You think these people should be allowed to keep doing their jobs? Really? Look, they don't take his worries seriously, and then on top of that, they put a false diagnosis on his chart?
I think that if you had to fire doctors based on making fun of their patients, you would obliterate the medical profession.
This isn't just them making fun of him, though.
No, I know. That's that's the one thing I signaled out as he should get money for that. That's outrageous. It is medical malpractice to put the wrong thing on your medical chart. That is very serious. What if they started giving him medication for that? And what if he was allergic to that? I mean, you don't put the wrong information on somebody's medical chart on purpose. It's one thing to joke around in private. It's another thing to turn your joke into something that's actionable and medical, right? So should they be in legal trouble for that? Yes. Should they be meaning civilly? Should they be, in trouble at their jobs for that? Yes. Everything else is, despicable, frustrating to all of us. And we've all had to deal with doctors who didn't want to, bother to treat us at one time or another, even though it's not all doctors. It is some. We all are frustrated by it. But I don't want to pay people because I'm mad, right? And the jury says it. They said there was one guy who thought he shouldn't get anything, another guy who thought he should have gotten a couple of $1 million. So we split the difference and gave him $500,000.
Yeah.
That's not the right way to do things.
So let me break down why they agreed to $500,000. The jury did award the man $100,000 for defamation, $50,000 each for the comments about the man having syphilis and tuberculosis, and $200,000 for the medical malpractice, as well as $200,000 in punitive damages. Look, I know we get stuck on the amount that's awarded in lawsuits, and I don't think that that's really the moral of the story, even though I know that that's the part that hooks people. I think the moral of the story is that what these doctors did was wrong, okay? They did falsify records. And as a result, I don't think that they should be practicing in medicine at all. I don't want these people dealing with anyone else. It's not about insulting people and hurting their feelings. It's about not taking someone's medical concerns seriously and on top of that, falsifying records.